Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another VIROO webinar. Today is pretty exciting because we are going to see a sneak peek of what's coming next in VIROO. A new version, VIROO 3.0, that it's expected to come before the summer holidays. And it's not going to be a depth-in review. We are going to have time for that. But I want to guide you through some of the new features that we are going to offer both for the users and developers, and even many new features in the background that are going to help to the platform to work properly and even more reliable than before. So again, I remember you that whoever is in the chat, feel free to ask. I'm having my second screen here, so whatever comment, doubt you may have, you can post it on that, or then you can reach me later if you want. This is going to be as always later uploaded to YouTube, so you can watch it whatever you want, but coming to the webinar live, it's going to help to have more interaction with me if you have doubts for this specific session. So without any further ado, let me jump straight into the presentation, and then I'll give you some brief demos of some of the things that we are going to offer the users in the next coming month. So first, VIROO 3.0. Again, this is the third version of the platform. Some of the features will be visible to the users, some of them not, but all of them globally are going to help both users and developers again to have a better experience developing and using applications in VIROO. So today we're going to see 5 points. The first one is VIROO Cloud, then Standalone Apps, VIROO Studio, and single player and the byteless developer community. So let's start with VIROO Cloud. What exactly is VIROO Cloud? Well, before, what we have is if you wanted to upload your content and share with all your organization what you have created and see all the documentations, you need to go to the VIROO portal, which is its name right now. So you can have here the welcome screens, you here find the files, you can have the downloads in order to access different versions of VIROO. So we're giving a new look to this, and it's something that we are calling VIROO Cloud. So VIROO Cloud is a brand new website that is going to give you all the benefits that the VIROO portal already have, but with much more options and more links that will guide you through how to use VIROO and how you can start creating content with it. So basically, this is like not a final version of it, but the things that you are going to be able to do in VIROO Cloud is, first of all, edit your profile, your info, your password. You are going to be able to manage your organization details, even including the users, and what kind of content those some particular users have access to or don't have access to. So you can have content that is only visible to some specific users. You will have access to link resources such as the web, documentations, download for every resource that you need in order to both use VIROO and create for VIROO. You will be able to see, of course, your apps, so even including their metadata. So if you upload your apps, you can manage with just one place. But again, this is like a brand new website, much more optimized and with many more features than before that we really hope that you are going to love. And you're even going to have a notification bar that is going to prompt you with all the news, all the events, alarms, everything new regarding VIROO. You are going to see it in just one place. So we think that this is a really great addition to the platform, but remember that the platform itself is always based on the apps you are creating, the players that you are using, but the core of the platform, which is everything that makes the networking work correctly, and this kind of external sites that are going to give you some benefits in order to create content management and improve your work processes inside your organization. So again, now let's go to Standalone Apps, because this is a really huge one. This was really demanded in some sectors, and we understand that because Standalone Apps is going to give you the option to deploy content without having to have a powerful PCVR computer. So if you want to deploy your apps to many people inside your organization because you already have like thousands or hundreds of MetaQuest devices or HTC, you can create now Standalone Apps for VIROO. But let me just walk you how this really works. So first of all, the killer feature, of course, is that you will be able to publish Android standalone apps. So this is for now it's Android standalone apps. So not yet for other devices that doesn't work with Android, just the basic OpenXR standards. And then you will be able to launch those standalone apps, log in and join sessions right from the headset. No need to go to the PC or something like that. You just will be prompted with a login screen. You log in with your credentials and it's going to show you the existing sessions inside your organization and you will be able to jump just right in. Then all the sessions will allow to join with using the standalone headset, the single player in PC, and the room player is used. So the fact that we are deploying now in standalone doesn't mean that those users have to be in their particular session. So users all around the globe could share the same session, no matter if they are in standalone, in single player, or room player. This is the power of VIROO, that no matter where you are, no matter what device you are using, you will be always able to join these kind of sessions and interact with it in the same way. Even if you don't have a headset, you know that you could use the single player without having a headset. You will not have the same interaction that VR of course provides, but you at least could be watching the session, interacting with the content and not missing out for that kind of content. So the next would be that, and this is really important, that the fact that we are deploying now in standalone doesn't mean that we are managing the app distribution inside your organization, at least for now. So this means that if you want to deploy your app in standalone because you don't want to depend on an external PC, that's okay, that's up to you, but you will need to manage that installation yourself. And there are many servers in the market that you can use, some of them like Arbor, that will help with that app distribution inside your organization. In fact, if you already have thousands of or hundreds of headsets inside your company, probably you are already using an app distribution management service. So you can use that if you want. You just deploy your application to that management distribution service and it will be deployed to all the headsets. If you don't have one, you will need to install the app for each headset. The good thing is that, again, you don't need a computer, but some of the benefits that VIROO has with the single player for PC or the room player is that whenever you change an app, it's going to be automatically uploaded through all the players. This is not the fact right now with standalone, but at least you can deploy it and you can go whatever you want using just a standalone headset, no depending on the external PC, okay? But this is really important to take into account, at least for now. So the next one is, of course, one in particular that I really love. You know that I'm not a programmer, but I love VIROO Studio for Unity, because VIROO Studio is the tool that is going to help you create these amazing immersive applications that are multi-user, multi-device. And one of the good things about VIROO is that it empowers advanced developers to focus just on the creation content and not worrying about the complexity of the networking or the multi-device. But even for people that doesn't know how to code, you can still use all the components that we included, the predefined components and the Unity visual scripting system that we are going to see right now, to create this kind of powerful apps. So this is something that I really like. So let's see what kind of new features we are offering with VIROO Studio in VIROO 3.0. So again, remember, VIROO Studio for Unity is a package that you download and you use always in the Unity editor. This is good because you are not going to be learning a whole new specific content creation environment. If you already know Unity, you know how to use it. You will need just to open the VIROO project and work with the predefined components that we have here to create these actions and interactions, but you will have the full potential of Unity. If you want to install external plugins or change the layers, the tags, whatever you may want to add to your project, we always say that 99% of the things that you are thinking that are possible in Unity are going to be compatible with VIROO, because we are all Unity based for now, and this is something really great. So you just focus on your content because you don't have to worry about the complexity of the network. But the new features that are coming in VIROO 3.0 is, for example, we are including at least the new XR rig with the XR interaction toolkit. So in version 2.6, we embrace the XR interaction toolkit. Again, another standard that many developers out there already know how to use. So some of the components that we have created by ourselves, we remove them, and now we are using the XR interaction toolkit. And many of our developers asked that they wanted to access the XR rig, which is basically the player. So access, so if they want to attach some things to a specific part of the body, change their aspect or something like that, now they can use the XR rig, which is very common. They will know how to use it, and this is something really that the developers were asking for. Another new feature that we are having is that we are including, and you can see it right now here at the top right corner, is the VIROO Studio toolbar. This is going to give you quick access some of the components, some basic quick actions, and basically it simplifies content creation, because you will need just to go here, no need to search in the inspector. You always have this toolbar at your hand, and you will have access to all the predefined components at VIROO, or the settings that you may want to change inside your studio or inside your project without worrying on having to look for them. And I will give you a sneak peek of this later inside Unity. Studio users, of course, as we've seen before, now have the option to publish a standalone app. So you can publish Windows apps that are going to work with PCVR compatible headsets, or now you can publish Android standalone apps if you want. And we even have VIROO Portal integration. And this is really great because before, what you have to do is you will have to create your project, your application, and once you will finish, you exported that, and then you will go to the portal, which is now going to be called VIROO Cloud, and you will need to drag and drop it there, wait until uploads, and then it will be spreaded inside your organization. Well, now we will have VIROO Portal integration inside Unity. So that's good because, or in this case, VIROO Cloud integration, because once you finish, with the click of the button is going to be automatically uploaded to your organization, so you don't need to open the browser and go through that. It will be just done automatically inside the editor, and that's really good and convenient. So the next thing is that inside VIROO Lab, which is the basic sample environment that we have with all the predefined components, you are going to find an MR sample scene. This is a mixed reality a scene that you can copy and use it if you want to create a mixed reality application. Remember that mixed reality is something that allows you to use the pass-through cameras that the headset has to have seen your reality, but populate that with virtual elements. And you will need to select inside Unity which elements do you want to disappear whenever you activate the pass-through or not, but it allows you to a much better deployment, integration, and interaction with other users when you are physically with them. If you are just remote collaborating, it doesn't matter if you are only in VR, but if you are in the same physical space, such as a large-scale immersive VIROO room, it's better always to see the people that are around you. So imagine that you have like a really cool car in front of yourself, but you have your colleagues around you. You could still see their bodies and interact with them. And this is something that you can do, and you have a sample here in VIROO Studio, so you will know how to do it. So another thing is that if you saw this video, I have it prepared here, something that the previous webinar was all about this, the VIROO Studio templates. And this is like an assembly sequence template that we have included in VIROO Studio. And it's basically going to allow you to create assembly sequences using just visual scripting and in a much straightforward way. So it's just selecting the pieces that you want to be grabbable, and then selecting the order that they need to be placed in the correct position. And you, in a matter of minutes, you will be creating assembly sequences really fast, and you can even change the order of those assembly sequences. So this is something that we are calling VIROO Studio for Unity templates. This is the first one that we have, and it's going to be really helpful because we are going to detect some of the common needs that many organizations have all across the globe. So this is the first one that we thought, because many of our clients, this is basically what they use VIROO for. They want to create and train their staff in assembly sequences, just grabbing objects, placing it in the correct place, and understand how an engine works. So this is the first template that we created, but there's more coming in the future. And this is really cool because once you have integrated VIROO inside your organization and you know which areas do you want to apply those, if you have like 2 to 3 templates that cover those needs, creating an applications for that are going to be much faster than before, and way more easier. So it could be done by many more people inside your company as well. So again, this uses all visual scripting, so it's just nodes and boxes, and this is already pre-configured, but it should work just fine. But the good thing about this is that, remember, because we are inside Unity, you can always go to the visual scripting nodes and you can change whatever you may want. If you don't like exactly how we have created this template, you can always go to the nodes in visual scripting and change whatever variables or actions or interactions you may want to create even more powerful applications. You have many prefab components. In this case, I think I have here the project open. So we have prefabs. Remember that prefabs in Unity are something that it's predefined and it's accessible to you. So you just need to drag and drop it inside your content in order to have, in this case, an audio compatible. This is something that once the user completes a particular step is going to prompt you with an audio instruction. So we have audio instructions, click completables whenever the user touches something, part completable whenever the user positions a specific part in the correct place, and you can even have triggers and video completables. So this is something really powerful because, again, it's going to help you with this content creation process and streamline this kind of interactions inside your developing process. So the next thing is that, of course, you will always need to use the single player. Remember that single player is this amazing Windows app that allows you to both create new sessions and join already existing sessions inside your company. So it's a Windows app for now. Remember that you now have the option to join from a standalone headset, but you won't have a single player standalone version. Remember, what you will have in a standalone is your complete application. Imagine that you create an assembly sequence of a car. That would be called the demo car application for standalone. So you will put that in your standalone headset and you will just be prompted with a login screen, as in this case, but it's not a standalone version of the single player. So from that, remember that if you want to access already 16 sessions, you just join with your credentials. It will check the content, and here I'll have all my existing sessions, but I have even all my applications that I have developed. This is not the case when you're using the standalone. In the standalone, you are just launching the anatomy human body. If you want to go to another app, you will need to quit the app and go to another one. The good thing about single player for Windows is that, of course, you can choose whatever you want. You can create a session with this. You can share the session ID, which is unique, with others, and then you can press play and join using your VR headset or your keyboard and mouse. So let's see what new features are coming for the single player. So we have some things redesigned. As you can see, if you have used the single player before, we have a new look for the controllers that are more understandable and way more easier for the user to use, for example, when they are in VR or even if they are in 2D mode. And we have more configurations here when you are using the template. And let me show you this live because it's not as easy as understand, but we have changes to the fly mode. Previously, you will be able to fly, but in a particular way, and I'm going to show you the difference now. This is all like quality lifestyle ads that we are adding to the single player that is going to really improve your user experience when using the single player. We have backwards compatibility, so that means that whatever content you have created with the previous versions of VIROO is going to still work in the single player for VIROO 3.0. That's another huge advancement that we improved from previous versions. We have the new controllers, as I told you, and you can hide the menu bar. And these are the things that I want to show you right now. So let me just jump in here. Another new feature about VIROO Studio and VIROO itself is that we are now using Unity 6. So if you want to create content, taking advantage of all the new features in VIROO 3.0, you will need to jump to Unity 6 version. And again, taking advantage of all the new features that this engine includes. So let me jump to full screen here. Remember, you have here the toolbar that I told you before. And since this is a Unity toolbar, it's always detecting that you can attach this to your user interface. So no matter what you do with that, it's going to follow you. And you have here access to the VIROO components, the scene root, the teleport points, the XRI components, the XR interaction toolkit, the 3D components, if you want to create a lever, grip button, joystick, this is some things that normally you will take some time to create it, but now you can just, by clicking 2 times in this interaction bar, you can create these kinds of 3D models that are already pre-configured and work with the user interaction. So just by pressing play, I could jump right in and use the controllers to interact with this. In this case, I'm going to even rotate this. I'm going to put the joystick away to rotate it. So, and of course, we have here the VIROO interaction system, the VIROO action component. So you have full access here, because previously you will need to go to the inspector, add a component, and then you will be prompted with all the components that Unity has. So we indeed have a VIROO folder, and you will need to go here. But if you were searching for anything in particular, imagine that you want to use the Unity, the VIROO, let me set for that. I don't know, the Unity event action, which is one of the most powerful one. Imagine that you want to search for that. Because this is searching in all the Unity engine, you will be prompted with many more results that you will really want. So if you want just to go to that specific component, it's pretty fast, and this is why we have included this toolbar. So regarding the flight mode and the player, let me switch to here in play maximize. I'm going to press play to give you a sneak peek of how this new player looks. Remember that whenever you are launching the content inside the Unity editor, it's going to mock and replicate how it would look now when it's published and uploaded to the single player and running in the Windows app. So whatever you get in the VIROO Studio editor is what you are going to get later in the single player. So because I added some changes, it's going to take a while. I'm sharing my screen, I'm streaming live, so it's going to take more than usual. But let's see what are the changes here. So as you can see, now I have my full screen with my new controllers. Again, this is always better when you are using a VR headset, but this is really good because now previously we have some designs that were some confused for some users. These are the new controllers, but what I really love the most is the flying options and the toolbar. So one of the things that we detected is that some of our clients wanted the apps to get the full screen space. So we have here the menu, and this was quite useful when you were starting to use VIROO, but now that our clients are used to the interface and they know what exact buttons they need to press in order to launch the menu, this is no longer needed at any time. The good thing is that now you can hide it if you want. So you can go here to the settings. Remember, you have here the instructions of how to move around, how to fly, how to crouch, how to grab objects, but here you can now hide the sidebar. So whenever I close the settings, it's going to disappear and it's going to appear again whenever I need it. So this is, again, small changes that if you sum all them up, they are going to really improve the experience of the users using the single player. Now, regarding the flight mode, this is really interesting because previously, imagine that I'm here and I wanted to go to the ceiling. Previously, the only thing that you will need to do is just look at the ceiling, press the shift button to activate the flight mode on, as you can see here, and then you could move around to see if the height was right. You will see that it was not correct, and if you pass it and you will want it to go back, you will need to look down again and try it again every time just to have the correct angle that you may want. So this is changing because now we're including some basic interactions that many of the developers use, which is using the Q and E button to go up and down. So that way you can be still looking at your content while flying. This is the exact way that it behaves inside the Unity editor, so it's something that now we have included. And another thing that we included is that now you can define colliders inside your walls and your surroundings and even the floor, so you can prevent users from escaping your scene. So now I'm trying to fly off the screen. This is something that was possible before. It's not possible anymore if you want. Of course, you could remove the colliders from the walls or just specific them that they don't want to detect the player, but this is good because now you can control that every user is inside the environment that you have created for them. And even if I wanted to go up and I release the shift button, I'm going to go back to the floor and not be at the correct level. And again, now I have this, of course I can crouch if I want to have like a better view of the objects that I placed here, and I can have these interactions that, again, remember, to add this wheel, I only needed to press 2 buttons in the toolbar, and now I have like full control of these objects inside. So this is something that is going to, again, help many developers to streamline their content creation process. This is, of course, always better in VR. It's sometimes hard to select the objects in 2D, but at least this is something, and even there's something that I forgot, that you can, of course, always remove your controllers. Imagine that you are joining a session, but you are not going to interact in that much. You just need to be present to see how everyone is interacting, because maybe you are at your home, you don't have a headset, but you are watching people in the companies that are wearing the headset inside a VIROO room. So you want to follow the process, but you are not going to interact with the others. So you basically probably don't need those controllers to be popping up in the single player. So let's see now that you can, as previous version, if you remove the controllers here in the settings, I can hide the bar and I can hide my controllers, and now I have like a full screen experience of VIROO whenever I'm in spectator mode. If I'm just wanted to follow the session, now I don't have to be worrying about some things in the interface that are not really useful for me in that specific place. So let's jump in, because we are approaching the end of the presentation. For the developer community, we have still some time here, but this is something cool, because of course with VIROO, one of the powerful things is that we allow many developers around the globe to create powerful XR multi-user apps that are really, really hard to do well. If you want to create applications for really strict organizations that are really secure, reliable, and stable, it's not that easy to do. So we wanted to join and create a developer community to put them in contact if they want to share knowledge. And for that, what you are doing is we are using Discord. So Discord is something that many of the developers around the globe use, and we are going to update our VIROO documentation. It's going to be better than the one that is already existing, with full text, full images, and now is going to have even videos of step-by-step instructions. And we also are going to provide these developers the docs, product guides, and manuals for every application that we are launching. And again, you can join the Discord to solve your doubts, share knowledge. And it's not, we already have a Discord launch, but we are preparing, this is the call that we have, VIROO Test. It's a new version of it, and it's the one that we are going to jump when VIROO 3.0 comes out. It's a much more powerful version of this Discord server with many more information, bots to manage all the users, some people inside VirtualWare already in, and you are going to find here experts from all across the globe and VirtualWare to help you with all the doubts that you may have whenever you are creating this kind of content. So this is something coming that is going to help you when using VIROO. And we are starting to play with some analytics of basic usage, visualization. So from now on, we are going to be able to see how much time a user has spent inside an application, and later on we are going to start giving this kind of tools to the end users as well. So inside your company, you will be able to see how much time users have spent in doing something, and this is something that even in the templates we are working with, because you will even be able to record how much time a user has spent when assembling this kind of engine, and then you will have all that data and you can use it as you want to improve your work processes inside your company, okay? And this is the one that I just showed you how it already looks, and this is the one that is going to replace the already existing one. We didn't talk about that much before in the past because we were waiting to have a proper version to announce it, but it's open, you can join, but this is the new version that is going to replace it, so maybe just wait for that because you are not going to be waiting that much long. And then a bonus, because we talk about players. We talk about VIROO Studio, we talk about the documentation, Discord, but also we are launching a new website that is coming with VIROO 3.0. And again, this is going to be a great place if you want to stay up to date with all the news about VIROO. I think I have it open here. Let me search for that. This is YouTube. Let me search. I thought I have it. Maybe I close it, but thanks that I take these screenshots. But this is going to be great because you are going to even have a specific place. If you are a creator using VIROO, you can access this section and you will find all the resources. It's going to prompt you with the documentation, the report, the Discord, the downloads that you need. And remember, VIROO Studio is free to download. You can go just to the website virtualwarecode.com/VIROO and you can go to resources, download VIROO Studio and start working with it inside Unity. If you want to deploy that content in the network, you will need a VIROO license, but if you want just to create content and see how VIROO works and if it provides value to you and your work processes, you can just download it for free now and let us know if you have any doubts and what kind of new things you will be willing to have in the future in order to improve your apps. So this is basically all I have to share you with VIROO 3.0. Let me go back to here because I'm going to show you the VIROO Lab, which I talked to you about before. This is something that is always comes included with VIROO Studio. Let me go to filters here, to scene, VIROO Lab, and to see the latest version of the VIROO Lab scene that we have. So remember, we have like 5 minutes more in order to end. If you have any questions that you may want to ask in the chat, feel free to add it. And if you didn't have the chance to experience VIROO Lab and you don't know about it, we have like a full webinar on it as well if you want. But this is, again, a basic samples thing with all our predefined components that we have created. So you have samples of how you can copy and paste these components inside your apps to create this kind of keyboards, sliders, interactions, buttons, and whatever you may want. The good thing about VIROO is that when you combine these kind of components to a more complex 3D model, such as the one that we saw in the assembly sequence, you will be able to create powerful XR apps without much more complexity. So I'm going to press play to see some of the basic spots that we have, and some of them are new. So if you are used to VIROO, you probably could spot them. But let's see this was faster than before. So you can even have now like language selector when you are inside VIROO. You can even now, as a new feature, when you are in a VIROO room, of course, you cannot specify the starting position of the users because they are physically in the place. But if you are connecting from remote, now you, as a developer, you can specify the starting position of all the users that are going to be joining remotely because they are in the physical space, so they are never going to collide with the users inside the VIROO room. Now you can specify that if you want, as well as the language here. So I'm seeing a question right now from Jimmy Andres Moya Suarez in the chat. I'm VIROO developer, single player will be available on macOS. This is something that we have discussed many times. At least it's not going to be available soon, but we are already exploring new ways in which we want VIROO not depending both on Windows and both on Unity. Probably in the future we will have, that's why we call it VIROO Studio for Unity. So maybe in the future we adopting new engines, so we will be starting to be compatible with Unreal, with Godot, or other engines that are available. And being compatible with Mac is something that we already have discussed, but it's not something that is a priority inside our pipeline because many of our users they are not working with Macs. I know that many people work with Macs, but remember that for now, let's see, because in this week we have the WWDC and we have like new advancements in Vision Pro, but now SteamVR is not compatible with Mac. So there are not many VR applications in Mac, and our users tend to use and develop VR apps. Now that we have standalone apps, we are exploring again new platforms, and probably that's something that is coming in the future, but not just for now, okay? And just to finish, again, let's see some of the things that are new here in VIROO Lab. We have like the controller's input, so whenever you have your VR headset connected to the PC, it's going to give you if the buttons are working correctly, and this is something that you can show to the user. You can here detect if the user is in or out, even if the hands are in and out, selecting if the right hand is in, if only the left hand is in, the time that I spent and the users that are connected to the session, something that I specified before than when I was talking about the analytics. This kind of information, you can gather that and use it to improve your work processes. We have here like socket interactors, all the 3D models that are available that show you before, like 3D elements that allows you to interact in a much efficient way. We have grabbable objects, gaze interactables. If you have a headset that has eye tracking, you can always use it inside VIROO Studio. This kind of grabbable objects, like a smartphone that you can even grab and interact with it, and it follows you and you can drop it. Simple interactables, and one of the ones that I like the most, even for, or especially for developers, is that these are really cool. But again, if you are a developer, some or many of the components probably you are going to be creating by yourself. So this is the shooting gallery. This is an example of if you want to integrate your own C# components and you want to write it down and create new code, you can always create this kind of code and integrate it both with the VIROO interaction system and the visual scripting. You can use the 3 ways. You can use some of the components to solve the basic things, create new scripts just from scratch, or use the Unity visual scripting, all them together to create the kind of app that you really want to use. So again, this was just a sneak peek. I will be having more webinars in the future once VIROO 3.0 is out. Remember, it's going to be launching before the summer holidays, probably at the end of the month if everything goes good, but just to be sure that before the holidays is going to be out, and you could be having advantage of all the new features that we specified before. Features or improvements to the VIROO Cloud, to the players, to VIROO Studio, and the standalone apps and the single player itself. So I'm answering the last question here again from Jimmy. With the standalone apps, the compile app will be an APK. So in which VR headsets can I use the standalone VR apps? Yes, it's going to be an Android APK. It's compatible with the OpenXR headset. So you can drag and drop it inside your MetaQuest, your HTC, or your Pico, which are the mainstream ones. Maybe we are supporting others, probably now, but all of our clients have some of the 3, or you have a Quest, or you have a HTC or a Pico. But if you have a new one and it's compatible with the OpenXR standard, probably you are going to be able to deploy on that. But again, many of the things and even demos how to create a standalone app are coming in the future. Remember that this webinar is going to be available in YouTube, probably tomorrow or the end of the next day. And thanks all for joining us, for coming here. And remember that you can go to virtualwarecode.com/VIROO to download VIROO Studio and reach us if you want to integrate this kind of XR inside your organization and improve your work processes. As I always say, if you are not already using XR in 2025, probably you are already late, but not too late. So you can still jump using VIROO and be ready to the next wave of this spatial web. Thanks all for coming, and I'll see you in the next webinars. Bye-bye.